Hey folks, it's Patriot Nurse. Is there a secret treaty that would force the United States into an armed conflict with Russia over the Ukraine issue? The answer may surprise you. Let's get started. So friends, if you look at a lot of these elitist publications right now, they keep pushing a narrative that this thing called the Budapest Memorandum is some kind of binding agreement which would force the United States to A, provide arms and weapons to Ukraine, but also to actually create some type of security guarantee, i.e. involve the United States from a military standpoint in the defense of Ukraine. This narrative that the Budapest Memorandum should somehow serve as a basis for forcing the United States to supply more weapons, more armaments, more tax dollars, even boots on the ground to the defense of Ukraine against Russia in an armed conflict. This is being pushed by the deep state and by their little minions in the mass media and by their different publications in the legacy media. So is there anything to this? Does the Budapest Memorandum actually serve as this justification, and are we having our hands tied in the United States? When we think about the Budapest Memorandum, we have to view it within the context of its recent pertinent history, and that is leading up to the Budapest Memorandum of 1994. You have a lot that's happening in the area around the former Soviet republics, because if you remember Gorbachev and Glasnost Perestroika, there's a huge move towards de-Sovietizing all of these areas and allowing the former Soviet republics, of course, to have their own independence. And the key factors in this were economic, but also diplomatic. So when you consider what was happening at the time, Clinton is involved with Yeltsin and, of course, the new leader of Ukraine. He was actually a former communist, but this is to be expected in an area that was primarily governed by communists for a long, long time. So what happens is, as these new Soviet republics are breaking away and forming their own independent governance, their own national sovereignty, they've got a lot of housekeeping to do, including making sure that they can pay for an independent state. Ukraine is in a really weird position because they've got effectively the third largest nuclear stockpile there, but they're having to fund the maintenance of this nuclear stockpile by themselves as a new and independent nation. Not the easiest thing to do. But also there's an incredible amount of pressure coming from the West into getting Ukraine to get rid of these nuclear weapons because of the precedent that it was set, and also the security questions that a lot of Europe had at that point. Is it going to be safe with Ukraine sitting effectively as the buffer zone between Europe and between Russia? Is it safe for them to have all of these nuclear weapons still there? So there's a lot of pressure from the UK and from the United States and really Western Europe to get Ukraine to denuclearize. And effectively, there was the choice made at the time that it wasn't, from a Ukrainian standpoint, it wasn't in their strategic national interest, certainly from a financial standpoint, to keep these nuclear stockpiles around. And so here comes the Budapest Memorandum. And so it was made a diplomatic decision to get Ukraine to denuclearify itself with a few assurances, basically words on paper that says, please don't invade us, please respect our national sovereignty, and don't be mean to us. I'm oversimplifying this, but effectively that's what it was. We're going to give away our nuclear stockpile because we don't want to spend the money to maintain it, with the assurances that you guys aren't going to invade us. Many would say that this was a very stupid decision because if you look at the history, of course, of Russia and Eastern Europe with constant border movements either way from Catherine the Great, like going back 300 and something years before that, and even further in some cases, this was a really poor decision to make, to effectively choose not to defend oneself with the best weapons possible and to give it away with just the assurances that a previously hostile power was somehow going to change its spots and not be hostile anymore. And then we get the Budapest Memorandum. So effectively what happened was there was a diplomatic agreement that was made. But is this agreement something that should bind us here in the United States? We're going to talk about it. Of course, this is an oversimplification because you're only going to have so much historical context that one can put in a video this short for free here on YouTube. But my hope is that we can contextualize what we're looking at and see, is there any justification for claiming that the United States is bound, is honor and duty bound to take our blood and treasure, to send our men and women over there to fight, and to deprive our children via taxation to support the Ukrainian war, so we can be able to check the box of, yes, we kept a Clinton era agreement. All right, folks, let's break this down. And I want you to pay attention because this matters, particularly in a historical context. The Budapest Memorandum. It's often thrown around like it's some sort of ironclad agreement that the United States must uphold, especially when it comes to our involvement in the Ukraine-Russia conflict. But here's the truth. It wasn't a treaty, and it wasn't ratified by Congress. You see, people like to argue that the U.S. is bound to honor the Budapest Memorandum because we signed it. But hold on. This isn't your typical legal treaty. This was just a memo. Plain and simple, a political statement. It doesn't carry the same weight as a treaty, and here's why. A treaty, according to our Constitution, must be ratified by 2/3 of the Senate. That's the law. Congress must ratify any treaty before it becomes binding. The Budapest Memorandum didn't go through that process. It wasn't ratified by Congress. It wasn't formally adopted into U.S. law. It's just a piece of paper, a diplomatic agreement, a memo, not something we are legally bound to defend. Now, why does this matter? Well, let me remind you of a little history lesson. The American people fought a revolution to break free from taxation that they were being subjected to, taxes without representation. And those taxes, they were incurred to pay off war debt from the French and Indian War, or what some called the 7 Years' War. That war was incredibly costly for the British Crown, and in order to pay it off, the British began taxing the American colonies, triggering outrage and ultimately leading to the American Revolution. Fast forward to today, and here we are again, dealing with obligations that the citizens didn't vote for and agreements that they didn't ratify. This is exactly why the founders of this country were so adamant about giving Congress the power to declare war and ratify treaties. They knew that without this safeguard, the American people could be dragged into conflicts that they didn't agree to, conflicts that would cost them, whether in blood or treasure. So let's take a step back and think about this. We're being asked to uphold an agreement that wasn't ratified by Congress, wasn't a treaty, and wasn't part of the formal legislative process. And we're being taxed to fund it. The people of the United States are footing the bill for something that wasn't debated in our halls of Congress, and it wasn't voted on by our elected representatives, and frankly, isn't even a legal obligation under U.S. law. Let's be real. We have no duty to give Ukraine a thing. We certainly don't owe them anything at the expense of our own people's well-being. We owe that to our children, not to foreign governments. Our founders foresaw this very scenario. They understood the importance of checks and balances when it came to war and foreign entanglements. They were wise enough to ensure that Congress, and not a single president or political leader, would make those big decisions. So I'll say it again. The Budapest Memorandum was just a memo. It's not a treaty, and it wasn't ratified by Congress. We are under no obligation to sacrifice our future for something that was never properly ratified or debated in the first place. Friends, I hope this video helped you understand the current situation. If you enjoyed it, please make sure and share this with one person who would be benefited from it. Also, if you enjoyed this content and you like getting videos like this for free, make sure that you have subscribed to the channel and click the bell button. That way you're always notified whenever a new video comes out. And I won't spam you. I only make about one video a week. Stay strong and informed, guys. May the Lord bless and keep you all. For now, it's Patriot Nurse signing off, and I'll see y'all later. Bye.